I'm Alex. I live in Hyde in Kent. The property that I sold with Springbok is actually in Ashford, which is probably about 20 minutes away. I work in the utility sector, so I find people good deals on their gas and electric for a living. So I'd had real troubles selling my flat in the current market. Obviously, things aren't, things have been very volatile leading up to this point, and I'd struggled with traditional estate agents. I just hadn't really had somebody that really felt like they wanted to actually sell my property. I just felt like a bit of a number, really. And I didn't really feel like I was getting the care and attention that the property deserved. And I was in a situation where I needed to sell it really quickly. My tenant had moved out and it was sitting there empty, and it was costing me probably about £1,300 a month just sitting there completely empty. And it was just getting more and more frustrating. I went online. I just needed to find somebody that was going to sell the property, as quickly as was possible at the time. So I just did a Google search, and there was a few different ones that came up. I contacted 2 or 3 of them, and actually Springbok came back to me. I had a text message almost immediately that I'd filled in the form, and somebody called me back within about 30 minutes after that. And I just felt like it was somebody who actually really wanted to sell my property, and I wasn't just going to be a number, and I wasn't just going to sort of disappear into loads of different properties that they've got. It sounded like he really wanted to find out about the property, what was really great about it, and how they could sell it for me. So it's a really smooth process right from the start. Once I'd actually decided that I was going to go with Springbok, they looked at the valuation for me, and I think what I was really impressed with was I assumed that if I was going to go with a company that was potentially going to be selling it really quickly, I'd have to take a massive hit on the on the price that we were going to be putting it up for. And actually, obviously, it was a bit lower than we had been looking at previously, because it's a very different system. But I was just so impressed that I didn't really have to sacrifice very much of the equity in the property in order to have all of the advantages of using a company that was going to sell it as quickly as this. And as I say, the process was really, really great right from the start. I felt like there were people that had specific roles within the company that were helping me with each individual section. So right through from kind of getting all the particulars put together, the photography. In fact, the photography was one thing that actually really stood out to me, because the previous agents that had it, I actually had to call them up and complain about the standard of the photography. I mean, I felt like I could probably have done better if I'd actually gone with my phone, but they sent a professional photographer out who had clearly got a lot of experience of property photography. I actually went there to meet him just because of my previous experience. I thought I really needed to be on top of this and direct it, but I absolutely didn't. He knew exactly what he was doing. He actually gave me some pointers as well. He stayed quite a long time, and he really wanted to get a really good job done, and that was really clear. And he was a really lovely guy as well. And I think that makes a big difference when you feel really comfortable around somebody, and it just looked like he knew what he was doing. And then we moved on to, we worked with one of the ladies in the office who actually sort of got the ball rolling with all the solicitors and the conveyancers and everything. And I was so impressed with her, because she just wanted to keep me updated at every point. And again, that was something that I really lacked before. I felt like I was constantly chasing for updates. But with Springbok, they were calling me to update me on things before I'd even asked. And so being kept up to date with everything throughout the process was a massive deal for me, because I just like to make sure that I know what's going on, and I do get a bit twitchy. It's a massive thing, selling a property, and there's so many things that can get in the way of everything, and you just like to be kept informed just so that you know what is going on, so you don't get too concerned. And then through to dealing with solicitors and the conveyancing and all that sort of stuff, that was also really easy as well. And again, and I felt a little bit like when you're calling a solicitor, you're worried whether it's actually costing every time you speak to solicitors. But of course, because all of those costs are included within the process with Springbok, I wasn't worried about making a phone call here or asking for an update there, because I knew that was all covered. And so it really does take the stress out of selling a property, just knowing that all of those things are completely dealt with, and it wasn't something that I had to worry about in addition. I'd 100% recommend Springbok Properties to anybody looking to sell something, especially if it's something that you need to be selling quite quickly. They just take care of absolutely everything from start to finish. They totally take the stress out of what can be a really stressful process. They just make everything feel easy. They constantly keep you updated with everything that's going on. And I was really happy with the price that I got. in the end as well. And yeah, anybody looking to sell anything, any properties, flats, houses or anything, I've already recommended to my friends because it was just such a seamless process. And as I say, took the stress out of it all.